Under Paris is a 2024 creature feature directed by Xavier Jean. A marine biologist must team up with the local police department when a killer shark makes the flooded catacombs of Paris its new home. But before we get into this Mako shark monstrosity, I just want to ask that if you end up enjoying this video, then please consider dropping a like and comment, and maybe even subscribe, as it would really help my channel grow. So thanks. Also, there will be full spoilers ahead. But if that doesn't bother you, then grab your escargot flavoured popcorn and whip out your favourite baguette shotgun as we dive into Under Paris. So the movie begins with a quote from Charles Darwin. No, wait, it's a quote based on Charles Darwin? So I guess they couldn't find a Darwin quote which worked, so they just made something up, which is slightly concerning. But anyway, then we see this boat out in the North Pacific Ocean, and on board we meet our protagonist, who I'm going to call Misery, because as you will see, she wallows in it. She's also a marine biologist who is out tagging sharks, while also making a documentary about the North Pacific garbage patch, with her husband, Expendabill. Anyway, she says, "Stop throwing trash into the ocean! Where? I found a dead shark last week that choked on a discarded Captain Marvel action figure. No animal deserves to die in such an embarrassing way." Then her team rock up like, "Quick, our larger than usual and more aggressive than normal Mako shark is nearby." So the fellas get ready to dive into the water with it, because who needs to live, am I right? And in they go, with Expendabill saying,
"Finally back in your element, Sam." "What element? This one?"
"What the hell kind of comeback was that? It wasn't even relevant to the question."
Radar echo at 70 meters.
"Which way?"
South-southeast.
"I'm underwater, genius. How the hell am I supposed to know which way is south?" Then they spot something and stop for a second. Turns out they found a dead whale calf trapped in some netting. So Expendabill goes in for a closer look and says,
"Its stomach is full of plastic."
"I could have told you eating plastic was a bad idea, you dumbass." But then a bunch of sharks show up, before out of the darkness swims their tagged shark, Mary Mako Akeko, who is somewhat bigger than the last time they saw her.
"Are you seeing this?"
"Yeah, you should probably get out of the water immediately."
"Okay, what do we do?"
"Get out of the water immediately." "Aye, alright lass, but first I'm gonna poke it with my pokey stick, pokey.
"You dumb shit."
And as you can imagine, this goes about as well as a ferociously loud fart at a funeral, and the shark starts killing them all.
Come on, answer me!
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Okay, I got it that time. Then Misery in her infinite wisdom is like, "Don't worry, I'll save all 4 of them, for I have a spear gun with 1 shot and no air supply." But as soon as she gets underwater, she sees Expendabill's severed arm floating in front of her. "Bill, where are the others?" Being eaten by Mary, I reckon." "Well, don't worry, I'll rescue them, because I have a spear gun with 1 shot and no air supply." "Nice one, lass. Well, I would give you a hand like, but that's all that's left of us." Then Mary Mako Akeko swims by like, "Oh, I just killed your husband and your mates, and now I'm gonna get you and all." "Ha! I don't think so, for I have a spear gun with 1 shot and no— Ah!" And oh no! Misery's leg is caught in a net and she's being dragged into the depths. And as she rapidly descends hundreds of feet and screams all the air out of her lungs, her eardrums call her an idiot and then burst because they like to add insult to injury. But before you think we're going to need a new protagonist, she simply cuts her feet free from the net and swims hundreds of feet back up to the surface with no air left in her lungs while the shark completely ignores her, culminating in a super slow motion shot so hideous whoever thought it looked good doesn't deserve to have eyes. Well, at least this movie's stupidity has peaked early, I guess. Would you believe me if I told you that's not the stupidest part of the movie? I don't want to believe you, Ken, but I do. 3 years later and we're in Paris, where these 2 young fellas are fishing for junk in the River Seine. Right, what we got today then? World War II artillery shell? Boring. Skeleton of Elvis Presley? Boring. Oh, sweet, the complete series of Hong Kong Phooey on DVD! Ha! Jackpot! Oh, wait, it's Region 1. Damn it! Then the police show up because they want to get their photo taken with Skelly Elvis. And we meet our second protagonist, Officer Rod Swagger, who I imagine was cast for his good looks because he has the acting range of a turnip. Anyway, he continues with his usual police duties, aka being emotionless and having an unfinished haircut. Elsewhere in Misery is now working at an aquarium, where she's talking to some kids on a school trip.
Which of you would devote your whole life to protecting the whales?
"Not me, miss. I intend to enjoy my life." Then a couple of the kids look Misery up on their phones and say,
The internet says your whole team was eaten by sharks. Is that true?
"Oh, come on, he's only made light of your dead husband and friends. Jeez, lighten up, will ya?" Anyway, she storms off because she's got no sense of humour, but gets accosted by this lass who I'm going to call Coraline McCunt. She's an environmental activist who runs an ocean defence organisation from a building they're clearly not paying rent for. The wankers. She tells Misery that they've been following sharks via their tracking beacons and have discovered something odd about a shark that Misery is all too familiar with. So Coraline's mate Beanie brings up a tracker which shows that Mary Baco Akeko has recently swam from the middle of the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Paris. Really?
Yes, really.
Really though?
Really?
Coraline is insistent and wants her help to get the shark back to the ocean.
Are you insane? She's a shark, not a poodle. Just come dive with us. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
What, that she's not a shark, but is actually a poodle? No thanks, you mad rat. Now, please excuse me, I've got some grief to deal with. And she does so by watching an old video of her husband, who, at this point, hadn't learned how to drink yet. The next morning, and Misery is out following her shark tracker, when Rod Swagger and Coraline show up, and he's all like, Miss McCunt told me about the shark, and we've just found a dead body which could be related. Why, does the body have fins or gills? What? So they go and check out the corpse. And by check it out, I mean examine it, not assess its attractiveness.
I can guarantee it was a shark that did this.
Hey Swag, we just caught this crazy guy with an axe saying he chopped up our dead fella. God damn it! Though he is also claiming that he invented pizza, so I think we should probably take what he says with a pinch of salt. So they go and speak to the police chief and ask permission to check the river. And she says, do I have to get out of my chair? No? Well, then knock yourself out. Okay. So off they go to find the shark using the tracker. Once they get to her approximate location, they stop but can't see it anywhere.
It's impossible. She's huge. Where's she hiding?
Maybe we can't see her because she doesn't exist.
Dude, she has a tracker on it! And you're just forgetting about the dead guy you found bitten in half. Bitten in half? Was his name Jeff, perchance? You ever met a Frenchman named Jeff? Ah, touche. Anyway, the divers go in for a gander, but they don't see anything except leaves and the odd poo. Until they get jump scared by this dead fish with a big bite out of it. Look at its face! Oh my god, it looks like someone shoved a pineapple up its ass. Coraline is also watching from nearby, but gets worried that if the police find the shark that they'll shoot it. So she asks Beanie to hack into Misery's shark tracker and deactivate it, leaving Misery all like, what? Then the team sees something big swimming around in the darkness, so they resurface and say,
I swear we felt something down there.
We should check the sonar.
Wait, you had a sonar and didn't think to use that first? Why? So they use the sonar and wouldn't you know it, they find a big shark-shaped object down there. Then Swagger blames Misery for turning off the shark tracker, claiming she purposefully endangered his team for absolutely no reason. So she storms off in a huff. Again. Elsewhere, Coraline meets back up with Beanie and says it's up to her to get the shark back out into the ocean unharmed because she is just so selfless and virtuous, which is probably why she's made a recruitment video trying to convince other idiots to film her saving the shark. Oh, and I don't know who in the right mind told this person that that haircut was a good idea, because they lied. Through their grinning teeth, they lied. Meanwhile, Officer Swagger goes to apologise to Misery and asks her to come along to a meeting with the city mayor, where they're going to try and convince her to cancel the upcoming triathlon which starts on the Seine. Then we meet the mayor, who is essentially the mayor from Jaws but dialed up to 11 in terms of how cartoonishly evil she is. Oh, and let's not forget her fart-sniffing colleague who looks so smug that he might just explode at any second.
There have been several deaths, and if we do nothing, it'll just get worse.
Fine, get rid of the fish, but it better not cost me any money.
Failure is not an option. This event will be perfect, yes, and fun.
Oh, and someone grab a mop, will ya? Jacques has exploded again. So their plan is to tranquilise the shark and take it back out to sea. But before they get going, Beanie shows up and tells them that Coraline and her Bell End Brigade have already gone down into the Catacombs to try and save the shark themselves. Well, we better wait until the sun goes down, instead of heading there immediately to stop them. And that's exactly what they do, apart from Beanie, who is now with Coraline and says,
What if this doesn't work? What if we do nothing?
Then one shark will perish and literally nobody but you will give a shit. So she hops into the water with her sonar ball and waits for the shark to show up. Meanwhile, the police and Misery head down there and Swagger says,
There's only one way out, so we've got to keep everybody calm and avoid a panic.
Hang on, if there's only one way out, which is through chest-high water, then why are the activists bone dry? Probably because the writing in this movie is of a quality I like to call Anyway, the police enter the main chamber and tell everyone to stay calm as they escort them out. But before they can, Mary Mako Akeko turns up, and she has a baby shark with her.
Get out of the water! We've invaded her nest!
Wake the hell up. They won't hurt anyone.
Bitch, it's already killed at least 5 people! So Swagger jumps in to drag Coraline out, but she pushes him away right before we get a shot ripped straight out of Deep Blue Sea 2. But at least that knobhead is dead, so it's fine, I guess. As you can imagine, everyone starts panicking and pushing each other, resulting in lots of people falling into the water and getting their limbs bitten off. Beanie also falls in and someone lightly bonks her on the back of her head with their knee, so she drowns as you do. Oh, and one of the police team gets eaten too. And thus ends one of the stupidest shark attack sequences I have ever seen. Sometime later in the hospital is overflowing with knobheads missing their knobs and heads. And of course Misery blames it all on herself because she only has 2 settings. Sad and whinge. Oh, and Swagger tries to cheer her up by staring directly at her for bloody ages. I mean, he even repositions himself so we can get a better staring angle, for God's sake. Because if there's anything a lady appreciates while she's crying, it's you staring at her non-stop.
Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
Then one of his colleagues tells him they've found one of the baby sharks dead. So they take it to the lab so Misery can poke it with her pokey stick. Pokey, pokey. But when she cuts it open, she finds it's full of even babyer sharks. Which should be impossible because it itself was only a juvenile. Then a terrible realisation hits her. These sharks have teeth! Oh, and they can reproduce by themselves.
Hell, that gives them quite an edge.
So, unless our heroes, in inverted commas, can stop them, they'll spread like a plague once back in the ocean.
12 dead. This puts a real damper on my celebration.
I know, right? How dare they lose their lives, the selfish pricks! Anyway, I'm not cancelling the triathlon, instead I'm going to call in the army to keep watch during the event. Now go away! I've got some lunch to stab. Then we see the mayor on the news, where the presenter says, "Are there really sharks in the Seine? Because that sounds pretty far-fetched."
If this were true, I would be thrilled. In any case, it's common knowledge that sharks are perfectly harmless to humans.
Who are you? And why are you so dumb?
That's politicians for you. They never want to admit when they're wrong.
Political satire! Jesus Christ, that dialogue is so on the nose it might as well be a nostril. Then Misery sits down with Swagger and asks him,
Why'd you leave the army?
I was scared, and I was afraid of dying. So I abandoned my brothers in arms. They took some serious casualties.
"Oh my actual God, how are we supposed to root for this character knowing that he's a cowardly piece of shit?" I'm sure it's just part of his character arc, and he'll redeem himself by the end of the movie by saving her life or something. I can tell you right now, Ken, he does not. In fact, she has to save him on multiple occasions because he's bloody useless! Anyway, they all come up with a plan to seal the sharks in the catacombs with explosives, so they can't get out and will eventually die. Okay, and where are we going to get the diving equipment? Don't worry, I've got us covered.
It's the same gear that I used with my team.
And did it work well for them? No, they were all killed by sharks. Wonderful. And off they go into the catacombs, while up top the army secure the area where the triathlon is due to take place. Then the mayor arrives and addresses everyone. "Hello everybody, I am the mayor, but you can call me Mrs. the Mayor. You all thought it was impossible for a mayor to be worse than my predecessor, but
I have done it!
Now, who wants to see me shoot myself? Oh, I do! Well, tough shit, because I'm going to start the triathlon instead. Aww. And off they go into water I personally wouldn't even risk dipping a toe in. Back to the dive team, who passed through a tunnel that took interior decorating tips from the Predator. And soon they arrive in the main chamber, where Swagger lights up a flare and holy moly! Looks like we've got at least 8 sharks down here. Maybe even 10. So everyone gets to it and sets the explosives.
Okay, it's all good here. Everyone head for the exit and I'll initiate the blast.
Ah, the only thing initiated was my demise!
We have to stick together.
So one of them immediately swims away from the group and is ripped apart by sharks.
No, Anima!
I agree, lass. I don't want anything going up my arse either. He did manage to hit the detonator though, but instead of leaving with haste, Swagger just floats there growling, so Misery has to grab him and DPV them both out of there. But then the explosion goes off because when they said it has a timer of 3 minutes...
How long will we have before they blow?
3 minutes.
They actually meant 30 seconds. And it kills all the sharks and our heroes in inverted commas along with them. End of movie. That's not the end of the movie! Oh, it's not? You mean they somehow managed to survive the multiple underwater explosions going off right next to them? Why did I ask? Of course they did. Oh, and don't worry folks, if you think that's stupid, you ain't seen nothing yet. She just drove around in a circle and ended up in the same place she started! Which once again makes me wonder, why? Oh, and Misery and Swagger managed to make it out, despite them being 30 metres down and the entrance being completely collapsed by the explosions. But Misery wants to make sure no sharks got out, so she dives back down, only for Mary Mako or Keiko to come crashing through hundreds of tons of rubble like a wrecking ball. And instead of just killing Misery right then and there, it instead decides to attack the boat. Then everyone is killed apart from Misery and Swagger because their plot armour is so heavy I'm surprised they haven't sunk, before it turns its attention to the triathlon swimmers. And this is where things go really off the rails. Was this movie ever on the rails? Good point. But what I mean is the last 5 minutes of this movie are absolutely fucking bananas. Withered, rotting, festering bananas. So the shark gives a few of the swimmers the chomp, including yet another Deep Blue Sea 2 rip-off kill, because the first one didn't look shit enough apparently. Then the army boats drive around in circles shooting into the water, while the shark takes multiple assault rifle rounds and a shot from a 50 cal rifle and shakes it off like it's nothing, before, and this is where the movie just rockets itself out of the stratosphere in terms of ridiculousness, the shark's erratic swimming kicks up some unexploded World War II artillery shells off the bottom of the river, of which there are hundreds by the way, which land fuse down and detonate, causing a chain reaction of explosions, which destroy bridges up and down the Seine, and produces a giant wave which decimates the surrounding area, with everyone from onlookers, the mayor, and even our heroes, in inverted commas, getting swept away to their doom. Or at least you'd think it's their doom, but nope. They once again resurface relatively unscathed, but Misery still has to save Swagger again because he's absolutely pathetic. And he says,
"Is it over?"
Does it bloody look like it's over? Half of Paris is now underwater and the sharks have gotten loose. And I kid you not, that's the end of the bloody movie! End of movie! And there we have it, folks. And good God, I'm sorry to say, but I really don't like this movie. The characters are painfully dull and miserable. The writing is abysmal, with environmental messaging about as subtle as a sledgehammer to the chin. And worst of all, there is zero levity in this whole movie, which might have worked if it was grounded in reality, but when the laws of physics don't apply to your grim, humourless world, it just makes for a really off-putting juxtaposition which ruined any fun I may have otherwise had with it. I tell you, it really does take a lot for me to truly dislike a movie, especially a killer shark one. I think I've made that pretty clear, because y'all know me, I like some shite. But unfortunately, I just don't like Under Paris. I'd rather drink a Marmite and arugula smoothie than watch this shite again. So, Under Paris, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you loathe it? Let me know in the comments below while I go and watch an actually good Xavier Jean movie. Frontiers, perhaps? Nope. Hitman with Timothy Oliphant. I fear his definition of a good movie is becoming more deranged by the day.